time.
Explain this one to me, and whether you can not. As to all payments received for Medicare, Medicaid, and other government-funded programs, the parties specifically acknowledge that EMS MC will only prepare claims for clients and will not negotiate checks payable or divert electronic fund transfers to client for Medicare, Medicaid, or any other government-funded program. So if they're receiving the payments, rather than us receiving them directly, or they just, I mean, I get it if they're just a pass-through. It says all Medicare and Medicaid and any government payments, including all electronic fund transfers, will be deposited directly into a bank account designated by the client. So
they send deposits to our bank,
okay,
and occasionally we'll get those checks
sure.
as well.
Yeah, I remember that. The other question I was going to ask you is EMS MC will reasonably assist client in responding to payer inquiries which occur in the normal course of client's business and arise from provision of services. If EMS in its sole discretion determines the client is excessively utilizing assistance in responding to payer inquiries, a payer inquiry is outside the normal course of client's business, or a payer inquiry does not arise from services provided, EMS may charge client and client shall pay for any assistance provided at the current hourly rates. But it doesn't,
Yeah, that's pretty vague.
yeah, it doesn't say what is outside that.
Right. And my guess is sometime in their history, they were being inundated with calls and questions and things from services and from client or from patients. And I think that's probably just a blanket statement for them. I've not had any complaints or any issues when I've directed patients to call them. Because I mean, we get phone calls almost daily about billing questions. So I kick them over to them. I mean, again, it's within the normal parameters of what they're supposed to do, and I've not had any issues or any indication that there's been a problem. So I ignored that because it doesn't like.
And the only reason I seem a little bit tentative on that was we hired a law firm. Well, they do most, or have always done our bonding and stuff, all this. And we hired Allers and Cooney several years back to do handbook prior to this last one, I think.
Hello,
And
good
first off, I
afternoon.
thought.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. You guys
Good.
here?
Sorry, I was a little late. I picked up a phone call, which I don't like to do right before a meeting, and
Oh.
I said I have 6 minutes, and we ran to 7. So,
Oh, that's okay.
how's your day going so far? Do you have good plans for the weekend?
Not really. Nothing
Do you
crazy.
have to work?
No, I don't. Well,
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
Maybe, right? You never know.
you never know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you have a nice, relaxing weekend and get to see the family and
Yeah.
do all that. So, let me get our agenda shared.
You guys want to see?
So I was just gonna say, if we send her the link, would she want to get on the,
I mean,
would it be easier for her on the big screen so she could see us and we can? I'm just asking.
yeah, I don't know. Chelsea, do you want to, if we send you, because I'm here with the supervisors.
Okay.
And I don't know if you wanted to, we have Zoom option. And it's
We also play music in the
well,
background.
yeah, little things, but it's a board meeting, so I don't know if you wanted to do that or I don't.
So
If
you
want-
have a board meeting in the background? Is that what's on the TV?
Yeah,
Well, I'm just, if you would, we could send you the link if you just wanted to use our Zoom is all I'm saying.
Oh, I see. So I could join on the board meeting
yeah,
link and because you guys are in there right now, right? So sorry, just
Right.
for me to wrap my mind. So you guys are already in the Zoom link on the board meeting,
yes,
and so I could join that Zoom link, and then would you Do you want me to go through our normal account review or just kind of fill in where I can on the board meeting? Or provide any kind of insight or
All of the above.
all of the above? Okay, yeah, no worries, surprise, surprise. Okay, yeah, if you wouldn't mind sending me that link,
Yep.
then I can, I'll just jump out of this meeting and I've not used Zoom before, but I'm sure I can. So if you want to send that to me, I'll jump out and join that one.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay, perfect. I'll see you in a minute.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
My gosh, girl, you. Could be, except I don't know what it is.
Water,
Oh. In there?
yeah.
I have always enjoyed the aroma of your coffee on Monday morning.
Yes.
It's kind of addicting, the smell of it.
Her coffee's really good. Her
But
coffee's
she
good.
drinks it down, and then it's gone, and
Yeah,
has to suffer the rest of the
but she
week.
used to get up early and work out. Don't know if she still does or not. I feel really bad about that, because we were having that conversation one day, and I said, well, you get early in the morning to work out, yeah. I said, well, do you like tomatoes? She goes, yeah. I said, would you get up early to have a tomato? She goes, well, no. I said, well, there you go. Why would you get up early?
But working out is so much different.
Right?
Best time to work out.
Check out the price of shot colors she gets.
Yeah, I sure can. I'll do that right now.
I get up and work out in the morning and go from the bed to the toilet to my chair. That's a workout.
Hell, if I can get up, that's a workout.
Man, getting old sucks.
My wife gets up, she goes to church in the morning at 8:30, then goes and works out. So I accused her of going to church and praying so she doesn't get hurt working out.
Hey. Best way to solve that is just to go ahead and pray and not work out.
That's an option.
Yeah, well, there's benefits to prayer. I don't know about the benefits of working out. Right now, my back hurts and I wasn't working out.
Maybe if you were working out, your back wouldn't hurt.
You think?
She goes to church twice.
Maybe I'll try the
through
tomato
week, but it
first.
doesn't help me.
The funeral thing on Saturday. It was a full Catholic.
Oh, funeral, yeah.
Yeah, started out with the rosary.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
Was it Father Damien?
So
it
you
was
can
that guy from Nigeria.
Yeah, Father Damien.
Not,
That his name?
it's ready. It's ready to go home.
He's a good
The
crowd.
dude can't.
Not bad. You know, but
Yeah, she's been gone for what, 10, 12 years out of that convention.
yeah, I think that's about it.
Unknown caller.
Would you get it together?
I muted, it's silenced. Well, I'm gonna throw it out the window next time.
The song by the Tremolo's called Silence is Gold.
Which window? I'm gonna go open it. So I don't have to replace the window.
Who did that song?
The Tremolo's. Some people wouldn't know what that is.
And that might be to her benefit.
Could be.
It doesn't know either.
I don't know who that is here.
I don't either. So, don't feel bad, Josh.
Oh, I don't.
I feel terrible.
You shouldn't.
So who did The Lion Sleeps Tonight?
Um, Simone and Timba? Is that the
That's might have been who sung it in the animated version, but
I think that's her
I'm
name,
sure,
right?
I'm sure there was a voiceover.
I saw Lilo and Stitch.
It's the live version? Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, so cute.
Oh, thanks,
Hey,
Siri.
wait,
Ladies
do I
and
have
gentlemen.
one?
You give me money, I'll give you a receipt.
What?
There you go, Susan.
I don't know what that is.
Is that somebody trying to get in that couldn't get in? No?
So Do we have somebody online?
Jefferson County, Iowa, BOS,
Okay,
That's you guys, right?
but we usually are on there as Jefferson County Supervisors.
Oh,
I'm just
Maybe
curious
no
how we got a
idea.
picture of the courthouse.
what's the phone number?
I didn't let them in, so I don't know how we got in.
Somebody is in, you said?
Mhm.
let's see who it is. It might be them. Or it might be her.
But we can't hear them.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's weird because I didn't have to admit them. They just automatically.
Yeah, I think when on a Zoom link, we'd have, yeah.
Mhm.
no, I don't know. I sent her what was on the top of the agenda.
She may have to download Zoom.
Who's never used Zoom? Like,
So when I was walking up to the courthouse, a young man was taking pictures of the rock and his son sitting on top of the rock.
Huh. Then it falls off and sues us.
Oh, of course.
We didn't have seatbelts on the rock.
Just put some spikes on top.
I guess I thought they shouldn't be
But hey,
sitting
we've
on the
got an
rock.
ambulance.
yeah,
Actually, we've got two left.
2 left.
So did they tell you to go get it fixed?
He just wants quotes to,
Did you tell them, well, it's a little difficult to get quotes unless they can come to us?
I mean, it still drives.
That's our whole there.
I think so.
Huh?
Yeah, it's not flat.
Oh. Just on one side.
I think it's still in there.
Okay, this is perplexing.
I mean, I can remove them.
Well, but I'm curious as to who them is.
They don't give you a phone number, it just gives you a name.
Here you go. They're gone. I don't know.
It's probably. What's your name? Your contact,
Chelsea?
my name's Justin.
But I didn't have to admit her.
Yeah,
No one has that right to get
I
in
don't have
except
the link
us.
yet.
whoops, I just got a vibration on my phone, which would indicate.
Are you the only one that can admit from that?
Yeah.
They can't do it anywhere else.
They don't know what the password is.
They know if students can assess themselves.
They have to, I have to admit them too. Our office is the only one who has.
Blame it on Darcy.
We should call Darcy and say, did you try to? Oh, okay. That's scary.
Well, so far it's a really good meeting.
Well. Maybe we
Got
just,
good dialogue.
maybe we just go back to the,
I have
to
to.
her.
I mean, I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
well, I'm just wondering if she's having,
she said she hasn't got the link yet.
oh,
I sent it to her twice,
okay.
so I don't know.
Did she actually get the agenda and not
Mm-mm.
realize it's on top of you?
Well, I just copied and sent her the
Oh.
link directly.
I'm in the world of technology, great.
Mhm.
I'd never thought of that.
Mhm.
Tomatoes.
We didn't even know how to spell that word when I was growing up.
What's that technology?
Yeah.
You're not wrong there. But I had trouble with cats, so.
Oh.
This dog that we've got now,
Mhm.
you grab his tail. He'll take your freaking arm off the elbow.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What are you grabbing his tail for?
Just because it pisses him off.
I do that to Sarah's dog.
Oh, okay.
Man, he spins around.
What's really fun is when Brandon's playing with him and he's got a mouthful of toy and they're playing tug of war, and I grab his tail, he don't know whether to bite it or.
And this is why ambulances have to be cold faces.
Yes.
Maybe it's why he wanted to see if I could fly. I don't know. Maybe, you know. It wasn't a 3-point landing, Ethan, in case you were wondering. It was just a flood. Broke up a planter and a wooden wheelbarrow.
Did they have any transports out at the fair anytime with the activities?
Mm-mm.
The car crashes and stuff, nobody got hurt, they had to transport it, what,
No,
good,
I mean, there were, yeah, nobody got transported.
good,
Yep.
good.
Okay, she got it, so. She should be on here shortly.
Every time I see that on your computer, that's AD and that light people,
Mhm.
HD, I think of AC/DC.
Yeah,
That's what I thought when I seen it.
And we need to have the alphabet up here.
Well, they're both spin-offs of things.
Bath and Body Works. And ADHD instead of ACDC.
You know, worst part about this is we could have been working out.
Could have.
Then had tomatoes after.
I mean, you can do some push-ups.
No,
I'll count.
no. I couldn't do push-ups when I was a kid.
We could open that upper window and you could do chin-ups.
There you go.
But I could do the rope climb with the best of them.
Oh,
There we go.
there we go.
Have a motion to adjourn.
Chelsea.
Can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear it?
Hello. I can. Yeah. Thank you
Cool.
for including me. I'm sorry that it took me so long to get in.
Well, it's because we didn't work out this morning and so.
Oh,
It's been an interesting discussion.
Maybe.
well, my name's Chelsea Mock, and I've been working with Joshua as the primary contact for EMS MC as the customer success executive.
So I'm gonna let you kind of.
Okay, yeah. So do you want to just go through what we normally talk about and then?
Sure.
I know they have some questions. Our contract is up in October.
Okay.
So we've been looking at some options. I think we talked about that a little bit, but
Mhm.
they just have some questions that I thought could best be answered by you instead of me just making things up, so.
Sure, no problem. Let me figure out, sorry, I haven't used Zoom in so long. I have to figure out how to share my screen.
Josh.
I'm gonna make you the host so that you can share.
Oh, perfect. Okay, it's telling me it's not turned on, so I'll wait and try again. Okay, there we go. This should work. Okay. All right. Has it pulled up and is showing on your end?
There we go. Yep.
Yep,
Perfect. Okay. So this is just kind of our normal agenda that we go through when we meet. I like to talk about our account review, and then kind of just go through any discussion items or any follow-up that we have pending. So I'll just go through it and then just stop me if you have any questions along the way. So for the trips billed, we ended May with 141. And so far, month to date, we're still working through June. We don't close the month end for June until sometime between the 5th and the 10th, depending on when we get everything in. So month to date in June, we've got 89 trips billed as of today. And then total net collections, we ended May with $72,732. And month to date in June, we're at $78,824. And then I just have,
Chelsea, can I ask a question about that?
of course, absolutely.
So Josh is closing. Thank you. So net collections, does that mean that's what we actually received?
So yes, that should be, and then let me just jump over and show you where I get this information from.
Okay,
Bear with me while I find the right tab. Okay. So this is the client-facing dashboard where I get all of this information.
That's not
So-
showing yet.
Oh, no, it didn't. Let me stop share and share again. Okay, there it is. Okay. Yes, so it's your net collections, and we do a hard stop at the end of the month. And so, for example, if I go to so I could look at your net collections in a couple different ways. I could go to this bar graph here, and this will give us your rolling 12 months of net collections, which is broken down by billing period because it's all a snapshot in time, right? So if we're looking at billing period versus, a trip date or something like that, you can get some slightly different data. So it looks like here it's still saying $72,732 for the month of May. And I also will look at your payment summary dashboard. I hope it transfers over once I change screens. Let me know if you don't see something new. So this is what usually finance likes to look at. If it'll update to June. I can't believe we're already in July, so.
Right.
Yes, so, but this one you can see, we're looking at your net collections. So this can be different a little bit because we also have prior period adjustments in here, which if we received money in June, but we didn't get the remit for it until July, we might not post that money until July because we wait for the backup and then we post the money. So there's prior period adjustments in here. Sometimes there's refunds in here. It looks like there's not any. So this one's actually telling me that payments posted is $74,066, which has taken out those prior period adjustments from the total money received. And then I think there's probably an unreconciled day in here somewhere, which would give us that difference. Does that make sense, or did I make that clear as mud?
well, but that is the total money received,
Exactly, total money
Okay.
received. Mhm.
not necessarily billed, but actually received.
Exactly. And so if
Okay.
we wanted to look at gross charges, I have another graph for that as well. So this is just money collected.
Okay, that's, because I'm looking at that and I'm looking at that last 3 months and that's about 200, well, it's over $220,000 for a 3-month period, which I think is pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think I kind of told you guys, I think we've talked about this a little bit. Initially, I was looking at it wrong. I was looking at gross charges and collections. And Chelsea, if you could show this too, that'd be great.
Mhm.
The difference between the gross charges, the allowable contractual allowables or whatever it's called.
Oh,
And
yes.
then the net and the write-off and kind of explain that as well.
Absolutely. And without fact checking myself, your fiscal year, is it July 1 to June
Yeah.
30th? Okay.
Correct.
So let me look at our fiscal year to date. Oops. Okay. So is it showing that I'm generating a report for you guys?
Yeah,
Because I've
yeah,
been
we can
jumping
see it.
screens. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So when we look at this, and this is all at your fingertips, if you wanted to ever generate any of these reports,
Right.
this is your client access on this dashboard. But it's hard to know, what's in here. But so this is called the activity summary financial transactions by billing period. And so this breaks it down by each monthly billing period. So you have your total gross charges for the whole fiscal year to date, because we haven't closed it yet, is $1,938,097. Of that, there's an amount of money that's basically never collectible. It's contractual allowances that are deducted. So there's $937,648 in contractual allowances. So for example, if you're, you know, just off the top of my head, I wish I was good enough to remember everyone's ALS and BLS rates. But for example, if your ALS rate is $1,000, but Medicare's allowable rate is only 600, right? That $400 we will never see. That's a contractual allowance that says, Medicare is only going to pay what they pay. And so we deduct that, and then that gives us your net charge. So your total net charges for the fiscal year to date are $1,448,000. And then there's, some revenue adjustments for varying things in there. They're very minimal. But then we calculate your payments. So your total payments, revenue, money collected, this can be referred to as sometimes net collections. So that is $720,967. So to know your net collection percentage, I'm going to divide that $720,967 by your net charges, the $1,448,000. So that gives us a net collection percentage of 72. So that's actually a really good number. The national average for all billing companies and all providers is just kind of always been set at 65% is considered a healthy account. And so you're at 72%. So I would say, this is, due to good collection efforts. You guys have a decent payer mix. And so that's where we're able, I think, to squeeze out a little bit more. So, we're exceeding the national average. So I would say this is a healthy account. And there are write-offs on here for different reasons, like client request, or depending on what we have in your client specs. So depending on how we handle, deceased patients, or other write-offs are, no signature, timely filing, bad debt is included in these write-offs. That's usually the biggest one. So if we have, been trying to get money on this account that's on bill patient and they're not paying after those, 3 invoices and 90 days, write-off send to bad debt collections, we're just writing it off of this book, basically. So it's not money that's not collected ever. It's just kind of the ownership of collecting that is moved to the collections company. Refunds happen sometimes. That's what this next line is. So sometimes there are overpayments. I know if you have an accounting brain, it doesn't seem clean and you think there should never be refunds, but patients do overpay sometimes on accident, or even insurance companies. And then this is kind of the outstanding balance that they figure is still outstanding at $37,822. Does that give you kind of a good understanding of the performance?
Yeah, I was
Briefly?
just, I was quite frankly, very pleased with round figures of $721,000 collected for the fiscal year.
Good, very good.
I mean, I'm not unhappy, but I'm unhappy about the 1.9 million that we wrote off.
Right, yes. When do we get that, right?
Yeah.
I just
That's
asked,
Medicare,
I just asked Abby if I
Medicaid.
could get my credit card.
Yes.
That well, this is what I'm gonna pay, and
right?
Well, and that is, something that we do hear a lot, and understanding the billing process can be kind of shocking sometimes because you think, well, if you have a bill like a water bill, it's just paid in full, and that's that. It's all collectible. But the revenue cycle process is much more complicated, especially dealing with all these insurance companies who are doing everything they can to, of course, minimize what they're paying. But yes, that it's very different compared to the 1.9 million. But as far as the revenue cycle process goes, I would say this is a healthy account. And as we've been working with you guys for the last year, the previous billing company, all of that information has integrated into our system with the acquisition. Um, but, we're able to really kind of compare, year over year, what that looks like now that we're coming to the end of this new fiscal year. And then we can really understand, where is your baseline? Where can we grow? How else can we improve collections and, continue to increase revenue as we, can really look at some trends as we have some year over year data.
so this is probably a dumb question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, because Abby said I should.
There's no dumb questions.
Well, so to use your hypothetical number, so if I'm billing $1,000 for an ALS call, and they're only gonna pay X, say 600. If I bill 1,600, they're gonna pay 1,000?
Great question. So, and this is kind of where we like to go into and really look at your fee schedule, because if your fee is the $1,000 and we're billing that $1,000 for ALS for all those trips, and then you have two trips maybe, or however, you've got 10 trips, they're all billed $1,000. Two of them are billed to Medicare. Medicare will always only pay what they pay, no matter if you're and Medicaid. So no matter if your fee schedule is $2,000, for those ALS trips. However, we do recommend that you actually have your fee schedule structured to be at least 200 to 300% of what the Medicare allowable rates are. And the reasoning for that is because you're trying to maximize your return from commercial insurance. So commercial insurance, they're usually, unless you're contracted with them to pay a different rate, they're usually paying a lot more than, Medicare and Medicaid, since you have a contract with them to pay less. So we do recommend, increasing your fees to that 200 to 300% above that allowable Medicare rate, because you will capture more money from commercial insurance.
So where are we at? I don't know what we charge.
Yeah, that's a good question. I can do a review on your Medicare contracted rates, and then I can put that together for each of your, ALS and BLS, what the recommendation was, if it was 200% more or 300% more, and then we can compare that with where you are now and potentially implement a fee schedule update.
Yeah, I mean, if we're missing the boat, so to speak, because we're not, how do I want to say this, as high as where we could be to maximize our
Mhm.
return, then I would like to obviously make that change.
Absolutely. And that's usually, client preference. Sometimes, clients like to update that every year. They'll do a 2 to 4% increase every year. And sometimes they won't do anything for 5 to 10 years. So I don't know exactly when the last time your fees were updated. but I can definitely put that together. Let me just go back over to my agenda and I'll make a note of that. And then I'll send you what the recommendations would be at, 2 to 300%. And you can see how that compares with where you're at now.
Would this apply to our mileage charge as well?
Yes. It sure would. Okay. Yeah, so I'll put that together and then I'll send that in an email. Josh, should I just send that to you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then is that something that you'll have to vote on to implement that? Or will we just have be able to put and like if you wanted to change or update those fees, then we could choose an effective date and just have that take effect on that effective date.
Speaking for myself, we want to like I say, we want to maximize our return.
So as soon as possible,
Sounds
really.
horrible, but I don't want to say this. As you're well aware of, it costs a lot of money to run an ambulance service, and
Absolutely.
if we're leaving money out there that we might be able to collect, then I think we're derelict in our responsibility there. So we need to maximize our return as much as we can.
Absolutely. And in order to continue to provide that service to your residents and your community. Agreed. Okay, so I will work on that and get that to Josh and then we'll go from there. And then let's see. I do track your average loaded miles, which is also on that dashboard. So it looked like your average loaded miles for May was 21.2, and so far in June, we're at 24.11. And then any other questions about your account review before I move on or?
I don't know, you guys have any?
Yeah, I've got one question.
Okay.
When you do billing, you charge $22 each time you bill. If you have to bill the second time, do you charge an additional $22? And the
Great
third
question.
time?
We do not. It's just for the initial claim. Mhm.
So every time we submit a report, a run report, they'll look at it and then they'll determine how it needs to be billed. So they'll review it and then they'll start the billing process. But they charge us $22 for every report they review
Okay,
and then they do the rest.
all right, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
And how do you feel that fee structure is working for you? Because I know the other, management fee structure would be to charge a percentage on net collections. And so that's more, of course, if you're not making money, if we're not bringing in revenue for you, we're not bringing in revenue for ourselves. And so a lot of times we'll see those fee structures and I might be, I'm your advocate with the company. And so I normally see those fee structures when it's a fee for service per trip. On newer services where we don't understand where their baseline will be at or what their, net collections capabilities are, and they're more of a risk. And sometimes providers just like that structure to have, a fee charged on each of those trips billed. And so it's just really, preference on both sides. But if your contract is coming up, do you foresee wanting to make a change in how you're being charged for the management fee?
Well, I'm gonna ask a question this way, to me, it's really pretty simple. As I'm sure you're well aware of, we have a structured budget. And so we can look at our calls. And the way I figure it, at $22 a call, that's a flat rate. And if I have a call that is billed out at, and I guess my question is, where does the percentage come in? Is it on the total charges, or is it on the net collected? And
Good question.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead.
So it's on the net collection. So for example, if we were to look at the month of May and we billed 141 trips at $22 a trip, that means our management fee for May would have been $3,102. And if we were looking at the month of May where we brought in $72,732, and then the net collection percentage, which would have to be calculated by probably Jay, our CFO, and he has, I mean, so the management fee on the percentage, it varies wildly from provider to provider, and a lot goes into calculating that. So I don't know what that would be for you guys to even compare. But I could ask and see if he could put together like a projection of what that could look like if you guys did want to change. Um, and a lot of times if you are a larger provider and you run a lot of trips, you get a much better percentage. And so, for example, just to use a random number, which I feel like is fairly competitive, especially for like a small to medium-sized agency of 7%. If we were to charge 7% on that same month of May at $72,732, that means your management fee would have actually been more at $5,000. So you guys might be at a comfortable situation right now. But
Yeah, and I like the notion, to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, there's disadvantages to flat rates, and I get that, but
mhm,
there are some distinct advantages to flat rates too, knowing going in, it's kind of like my budget billing on my utility bill.
Right.
right.
So I did some math, just looking at that, and I estimated like 6%, because I really don't know, kind of where we would lie as far as that goes. But on our end, for 1,432 calls, which and the numbers are gonna vary anyway, but it was at $22 a call, it was like $31,500. But going off of the $1,448,000, we would have paid 60,000.
Well, even if you go on the net and you do 6%, that's 42,000.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe for us, the
Yeah.
flat rate might be
Yeah,
best. And like you said, if it's those bigger services get that better rate. But I mean, if 7% is kind of average for small services,
yeah,
that
I
might be
mean,
the way to go.
Chelsea, I'll put it this way. I mean, if they come back and said, yeah, we'll charge you 1.5%, we would certainly look at that.
Right. Right.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, ask the question and see what he would come up with, but
Okay.
just so we have, all the information.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'll Jay,
Before you do that, I'm gonna ask one quick question, and I'm putting you on the spot. And if you don't want to answer it, I completely understand. If we open that can of worms, I mean, I'm perfectly okay at this moment with the $22 per call. If we open that can of worms, would that happen to go away and not have a choice?
Oh no. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I don't think so. No. And so if I asked him, just to provide like an estimate, he would do that, just to be able to provide an estimate. And you could continue. I think your contract, I'll have to take a look at it, but a lot of the contracts will say, basically we can just continue to renew it. But not all of them are that way. And so if you are coming up to the end of the contract and, you do have to, do another contract, or sometimes we can, get around that if it doesn't make sense to do it. But, you know, really they would want to just continue the business with you, I believe. So, you wouldn't be forced to lose that just by asking the question, what would the rate potentially be?
Yeah, so our contract is auto renew. on an annual basis after the 2 years. And so, I mean, again, it's all hypothetical, but if we looked at the percentage rate and we decided to go that route, and then decided maybe after a year that wasn't the best for us, could we go back to that flat rate?
Yeah, so if the auto renew, is it an annual auto renew? So each year it gives
Yeah.
you the option. Yeah, so you could at the end of, any year where it's going to auto renew, you could
Mhm.
decide that, you're going to want to look at the other style of the
Okay,
percentage
yep.
rate. And I think $22 on, a build trip is also very competitive too.
Yeah, I'm not unhappy with that at all.
Mhm.
When we first received that, I guess the question that I had, and maybe the other board members as well, was the advantage of going to a percentage. This sounds horrible, but I'm gonna say it anyway, was maybe there was more of an incentive on your company then to collect more money. If the percentage, if the cut was bigger for them, if you get my drift.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a great question. Um, I think it could go both ways, but I mean, I don't think that without being on a percentage rate that there's any less motivation to perform. Just I think for the reason, one of the biggest reasons is for myself as your rep, I have goals to increase your revenue. And if I hit those goals to increase your revenue by a certain percentage every year, I kind of meet mile markers and, have incentives for that for myself. And so even without, the company making more money just by switching you over to the different rate, I'm personally doing everything that I can to make sure that we are increasing your revenue goals and keeping your account in good health.
Works for me.
Makes sense.
So I think at this point, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
guys, you and Chelsea work that part of it out and see
Yeah.
what it looks like,
Yep.
but if we have the option of staying or going, then it's, yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure out what's gonna be the best. Do you guys help with any of the, I know GEMT and the offset program? You guys do stuff with that,
We
right?
do, we sure do. So, and Iowa is unique in the GEMT program because almost every other state, except for a couple, the billing company has no part in it because what they do is they just get kind of a lump sum at the end of the year, depending on what their numbers look like. But in Iowa, we actually have to add on the GEMT charge to the trips that qualify. So they're Medicaid or Medicaid MCO as primary, they're emergent. And then we add your, approved GEMT charge onto that trip. And then that Medicaid payer pays that. And so we actually collect that money for you and post that, and that becomes part of your we don't call it net collections because we want to keep it separate for reporting, but that becomes part of your revenue. And so we help with the whole billing process behind it. And then also, we keep track of all of this, all of the GEMT money so that we can generate the reports that you need to be able to provide those end year reports, I believe in November, for maintaining that participation.
Awesome. Very good.
So is there a percentage of Medicaid, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Charges or calls or something to that effect before GEMT kicks in or is available?
Let me take a look at your payer mix and see what that looks like, because that'll kind of be a good indicator. Let me just get over to your dashboard. Okay. Yeah, so I think this is what you're asking, but let me know if I've missed the boat. So when we look at your payer mix, it'll tell us what percentage of your calls are billed to Medicaid on average. So for you, Medicaid is the black. So about 11.7% of all your trips are billed to Medicaid. Medicaid is one of the lowest payers, and so they have that contracted rate where, if your charge is $1,000 and they only pay $200, which is pretty realistic, whatever your GEMT rate would be, and it depends on the provider. I've seen GEMT supplemental charges be as little as $200 and up to, $2,000 and $3,000. So it really just depends on what your rate ends up being, but you could figure that, that rate will be added on to, almost 12% of all your trips and become additional revenue.
Okay. I mean, I don't know why I had the impression when we first started that we had to have a certain percentage of Medicaid, a certain percentage of our trips or calls had to be Medicaid before we actually were,
Could qualify.
yeah.
And I don't know exactly what that number is. I can find out and get that back to you.
No, that's, as long as we're qualified, I really don't care. It doesn't make any difference. I just was curious. But if we're at nearly 12%, I know that we're in the ballpark.
Okay. Yeah, and I know, Josh, you said you were working on that. And usually they want you to have a whole year of data to be able to provide before you can opt into that
Yes.
supplemental program.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Board?
I think I'm
Dude, I don't think so. We'll probably think of something when she signs off.
Right. Well,
So
feel free to share my contact number or email with anyone. And if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out for me.
So you and Josh will work out, you can keep us apprised of what you've
Yes,
determined, but you guys will work out the rate increases and stuff, right? Let me rephrase that, potential rate changes.
right.
The other real quick question I have, we're meeting next Tuesday
At 2:30.
at 2:30 with the hospital. Transfers have been an issue in terms of, I don't suppose, we do any billing on the hospital end for transfers.
Yeah, hospital transfers can be really tricky because so and Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't normally do the non-emergent internal transfers, or maybe very few from time to time.
Right.
So they're like scheduled trips, not through the 911 system.
Not very often.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of times for most payers, if a provider is performing a, scheduled or non-emergent interfacility transport, prior authorization is required to be paid on that trip. Not just the PCS form, but prior authorization has to be obtained by the provider. And so that can sometimes become like a sticky process. And I like to get compliance involved in that because that's just kind of above my understanding of how that process works. What is the goal of that meeting on Tuesday with the hospital?
Well,
Yeah,
we take a lot of trips that I think are not medically necessary.
Sure. Yeah.
I think is the biggest, well, at least my biggest gripe. And then they have zero financial support, or they provide zero financial support for the service, but they have the expectation that we're at their beck and call, so.
Right.
I
This is
think to
happening
adjust-
all over the place, you guys. This is happening
Yeah.
all over.
It is.
Okay.
It
And the
is.
Well, see,
hospitals
I-
do take advantage because then as the provider, you're not collecting any revenue and you're being taken out of service where you could be, providing medically necessary and emergent service to,
Right.
other members of your community. And so the hospitals do put a strain on the providers for sure. And then they don't want to accept any responsibility in making sure everything that's needed for the trip is provided.
And I'm
Imagine
convinced,
that.
and I may be completely wrong on this, and I don't know that we have any way of backing it up with data. But I'm convinced that a lot of these non-emergent trips are not medically necessary. They're getting them out of their facility because they're Medicaid patients.
Right.
And
Right.
we don't get anything for transporting Medicaid patients either. And it saves them money, but they're not willing to help mitigate some of the costs of transferring that individual. Now, I just need to say this just so that you understand. We are 150,000% behind doing whatever our residents need to maintain their health and their safety and their welfare. And if we need to take somebody, we will transfer them without question, whether they can pay or whether they can't, or
Right.
whatever the case may be. But by the same token, to go back to what Josh just said, I do think that we're being used and abused.
Right.
I don't know whether we can, that's the conversation for Tuesday, so we'll see how that goes, but probably it's not well, but we'll have
Okay.
a conversation anyway.
Well, I very recently just had Kim Stanley, who's our Chief Compliance Officer. She met with one of our other clients in the hospital that they were having the same issue with, and she was included on that meeting. So if you wouldn't mind, if you could share with me a link that you're meeting with them, I can see if she's available and she would be willing to support you on that. I mean, if she's available, she will, absolutely. She travels sometimes, and so I just need to make sure she is available. And if she's not available at that time, I can get some additional information from her to kind of help, you know, uh, help you have all the information you need to get, kind of your point across and come to a good meeting place with them. And also I can pull some reports and see if I can have some examples that you could also provide the hospital of, maybe transfers where, maybe the PCS form they didn't provide, or, just to see if there's any areas that they could improve their process on to help ensure that you're able to collect payment for those trips.
Well, it's gone,
Really good.
I mean, I don't want to throw around the term fraudulent, but starting IVs with just basic saline to justify an ALS trip to go
Sure.
somewhere when it doesn't need to be. So things like
Well,
that we're battling. And again, you said
right,
it's everywhere. So we're not alone in that fight. But
right.
as far as the link goes, it's the same link that I sent you for this.
Oh, okay. That same
We
Zoom
just-
link. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just our own account.
What time is it at on Tuesday?
2:30.
2:30.
2:30 Central Time. Okay. Oh, same time. Yeah,
Yes,
when I was an
we
AMT,
think-
everybody got an IV just because we wanted to do it. So-
Right.
Yeah. Well, and the reason we meet at 2:30 is because after 3:30, we turn into pumpkins, so,
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got 3 minutes.
all right.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'll
any
make sure I
information that-
share.
That you and Josh can come up with, even if you guys are unable to participate, and we'll have the Zoom on so that you can zoom in. But any information that you guys can,
And I've got some of my staff
okay,
working on those examples as well, going back through reports and looking at the ones that are questionable as far as medical necessity, so.
okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep,
So any of you got any more?
I'm good.
I really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for including me. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. I'm sorry my camera's off. I'm having trouble with it today. But
Well, that's, you know, the fact that you put up with Josh, I think is a great.
Well, listen to him.
But Josh,
You know, not me.
Josh puts up with me, so that's a great testament to him, but is what it is. So if you guys need to continue, you.
No, we're good.
Okay. Chelsea, I appreciate it. And again, if you all wanna check in next Tuesday, that would be fine too.
okay, will do. I'll get with Kim Stanley on this and start working on some of this follow-up so I can help you guys be successful with that meeting. And then if anything else comes up between now and then, just let me know.
All right.
Thank you
Thank
all for your
you.
time. I
Thank
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Take
Yeah.
care.
You.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.